Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Sundel. We are at the end of chapter 11. You did your chapter 11 practice test on Thursday, and today we're supposed to take the chapter 11 test. But I decided to give you a choice. You can go on Think Central and take your chapter 11 test the way we always do. Or if you're in need of a change and you want to be a little more creative, you could do a project instead of the test. And your project will be your test grade. So our project today is, I'm going to explain the project. If you're going to take the test, you don't have to do the project. You don't have to do both. If you're going to take the test, turn this video off, go watch the chapter 11 practice review, that video that I made on Thursday to review everything you need for the test. Watch that and then go to Think Central and take your chapter 11 test. If you choose to do the project, keep watching this video and I'm going to explain to you and show you some examples of what the project should look like. So that is up to you. Our project is a robot art project, and you're going to create a robot. You're going to use some certain specifications that you can find on my website or in the email that I sent your parents. It has these little cards that explain the project. You have a choice. You don't have to do both, just one or the other. You can do both if you choose to, but you don't have to. Just pick one. Focus on one is better. You can make the Homework Bot 5000 or the Destructobot Max. And I'm going to explain each one and show you an example. So this is the Homework Bot 5000. And it is, it's created with certain shapes, with rectangles and squares, and it has certain perimeters and areas that are outlined on the card. And I just used gel pens to make it and some graph paper. If you don't have graph paper, I put some graph paper on the website and in your parents' email that you can print out and use. If you want to just use regular paper and draw like your own little grid with a ruler inside each shape, you can do that. That's up to you. But this is, these are just some fun gel pens that we had bought to keep us busy during quarantine. But you can use colored pencils, you can use crayons, you can use markers, highlighters, whatever you want to use for your coloring. And just be creative and go for it. Maybe you bought some extra art supplies to keep you busy during the quarantine that you might want to use for this project. So this one is the Homework Bot 5000. And the Homework Bot 5000 has a head with an area of 32 square units. Now remember, area is the distance inside. It's how many squares you're going to color inside the rectangle. So you're going to make a rectangle that has 32 squares and then color those 32 squares to make eyes. She put eyeglasses on and a little smiley face and a little light bulb over her head because she's full of ideas. And so this is the head. And then we added a neck. You can add a neck if you like. Then the next thing after that on your list here is the body has to have a perimeter. Here's one thing. This one, the Homework Bot 5000 had a mistake. When we were making the sample, we noticed you cannot make a perimeter of 25 units because when you add 4 sides, you're always going to get an even number. So that must have been a mistake when whoever made these cards up that I found on the internet, they put 25. So we're going to just change that to 24. So her perimeter is 24. Now when you do perimeter, you kind of have to have a little piece of scrap paper and you kind of have to map out how you want to do your sides before you draw it. For this one, she did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 is 12. And then if you subtract 24 minus 12, you also get 12. So she did a perfect square. So she's got 6, 6, 6, 6. So 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 12. So that's how you did that one. If you want to do different numbers, you could do different numbers. You just have to make sure that the numbers you use for your sides add up to the number that they tell you on the card. So this one was 24, so your number should add up to 24. So if you wanted to make a longer skinny body or a wider body, you can use different numbers. Just make sure that they add up to 24. And just go around your shape and count the sides to verify and make sure that you have 24. If you want, you can label the sides. Like I can put a little 6 here, and a little 6 here, and a little 6 here, and a 6 here. And that way you know 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 24, how we got the answer. Then the next one is we're going to do, what's after the body? Two arms, each with an area of 10 square units. So she just colored in 10 squares, 2 rows of 5. 2 times 5 is 10. to make arms. And one arm, she's got a homework piece of paper that says homework great 100 and a pencil. And then you have to do 2 legs, and the legs have to have a perimeter of 18. So again, it has to add up to 18. So down here, she has 2 units. So up here is 2 units. So 2 plus 2 would be 4. And then if it has to be 18, 2 plus 2 is 4, right? Mm-hmm. And then what's left would be 14. So then this would be 7 and 7. So 7 and 7 is 14, and 2 is 16. I hate to put a 2 up here on your pretty picture, but I will.
That's okay.
That's going to be 18. So you don't have to put those numbers because it kind of messes with your picture. We're just putting those numbers for you guys so you can see on the video. So you can see that perimeter is 7 squares. 7 squares is 14, 16, 18. And then the next thing it says is 2 antenna, which with an area of 4 square units. So, you know, the antennas are those little things that usually go on the top of the head. Ours are kind of on the side because we have this little title at the top and we didn't leave enough room for the antennas. So we stuck them on the sides. Just attached, and she has 4 square units. She did it in a little square with 2 and 2, or you could do 4. You know, if you wanted to make really tall antennas, you could do 4 cubes stacked up. However you want to do it. And then you can add decorations around it like she did with the light bulb and the book and the pencil and a little description. The Homework Bot 5000 is a very cute and smart robot. She works hard and always gets a 100 on her work. So you can put a little description for your robot. You don't have to. That was just something we thought was kind of fun to kind of tell a story about your homework robot. So that's that one. And remember, you don't have to make both, but if you choose to make the other one, the Destructobot Max, I made the Destructobot Max, and I know the boys will probably make Destructobot a little bit, you know, of a more evil-looking character. I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to use my pink gel pen a lot, so she ended up being a little, she's not very destructible. But I made a little story about her. The Destructobot Max is a heartbreaker. She crushes the hearts of evil robots, so that's why she has a broken heart there. She breaks hearts. She doesn't have a broken heart, but she breaks hearts. Anyhow, so here's our Destructobot Max. Her head has an area of 20 square units, so if I were to count all the squares, 4 and 8, 12, 16, 20, so there's your 20 square units. I added a little neck, and then you have to go to the body. The body has to have a perimeter. Remember, perimeter is the distance around the outside of 28 units. So I wanted 8 and 8. So let me put that here. I wanted 8 here and 8 here. I'll put it over here. So 8 and 8 is 16. So what's left? 28 minus 16. There we go. 28 minus 16 is 12. So if I have 8 and 8, then the other two sides have to be 6 and 6 because you've cut 12 in half, you get 6 and 6. And when you add 8 and 6 is 14, and 8 and 6 is 14. 14 and 14 would give you 28. So you kind of plan it out, and then you can draw it and color it the way you like it. So now this side is 8, and this side is 8, and then this side is 6, and this side is 6, just like my planning sheet shows. After you do the body, then you have to do 2 arms, each with an area of 12 units. So I just did 2 rows with 6 in each. That's how I got my 12 units, 12 units. And for the legs, they had to have a perimeter of 14 units. So I did 2 here. Let's see. 2 and 2 is 4. So then that leaves me with 10 more, right? So I just divided that in half, and I got 5 and 5. So 5 and 5 is 10. And 12, 14. So I just colored 5 squares going down on each side and 2 wide, and that's how I got a perimeter of 14. I did the same thing for that one. And then you had to make the antenna, but this one, the antenna has only 2 square units, so I just colored 2 squares. I did them side to side. You could do them up and down, however you like. So that's our project for today. So remember, you don't have to do the test and the project unless you choose to. If you do the test and the project, I will pick the higher score. So if you got a 100 on your robot and maybe your test you got a 75, I'm going to count the 100. So it's like a win-win for you. So if you do the robot and you get a perfect score on it, then if you felt like just trying the test just to see what you would have gotten, you're still going to get a 100 even if you get a couple wrong on the test. So it's definitely up to you. If you just make the robot, that's fine. You don't have to do more than that. I know a few of you out there, you like doing extra. So if you're willing, if you want to do that extra little bit, that's fine. Like I said, either way, your project can count as your test score, or your Think Central test can count as your test score. What if you do your Think Central test and you think, ugh, I don't like the score I got on it? Then you can make the robot, and you can boost your score up that way instead of retaking your Think Central test. So that might be a good plan for some of you. Whatever you want to do, just have fun with it, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.